Hi, Carmen and Eustace. Welcome to Hyderabad, India. I know you have experienced a bit in Pune, and you have traveled to Varanasi and Raebareli, both on a professional and also on a personal front. So how do you feel? What are the feelings from you? Just to start this conversation very informally, please go ahead.
In general, India is a lot of good things, a lot of maybe unusual things for us Germans coming from Leipzig 1 month ago, but it's very intense and a great experience that we will probably look back to for pretty much the rest of our lives.
Yeah, I think there have been a lot of first-time experiences while or during our stay here in India. With the 2 months here, it's a long time to experience a lot. And we are pretty sure, and we now have decided that we will come back next year with more time because it's such a great country that we want to see more of it.
Thanks a lot, Justus and Carmen, for your wonderful remarks. I just wanted to be very straight and very honest, but you gave your thoughts very open. And I'm really very much impressed that you just want to come back to India again, both on a personal front and a professional front. Am I right?
Yes, definitely. So personal front is like we've been here for 2 months and we worked all the time. So I have the feeling I want to be back in India to see much more and to have more time, connect with people. And on the professional front, of course, we've seen there was a huge interest today in the workshop. So that was really overwhelming for us. And we see there is a potential and we want to deep dive into that a lot.
I also think the workshop we had today with the help of the Impact Hub candidate in Hyderabad was a great success. Many people coming here, great questions asked, and we got a really good feeling of what the ESG status quo in India is right now and how dynamic the field is. And this is really promising for us also as a growth opportunity, being the startup that we still are for the future.
Yeah, Carmen and Justus, you have nailed it down. The thing is, from a personal front, you have directly jumped into the professional front. That makes my life easy.
That's German.
That's German. Sometimes it's difficult to have a humor with the Germans. I experience it from my personal life where I'm associated with a German family. So definitely I sometimes stay back a bit with my humor. But nevertheless, you mentioned it, so I have the privilege to do it. So yeah, with that, look, see, it's a wonderful thing to know that you're a startup. So no more a startup because you're graduated from a startup into a company with close to a double-digit number working for you. So that is something amazing. Here, as Impact Hub Hyderabad, we are also a startup. So we are also the candidate, and we are about to finish our candidate phase. Hopefully, by 18th March, we have our interview. And one more important thing I need to really bring here is MyStartupTV. So these guys are amazing. I had the chance of meeting them at an International Startup Foundation retreat on a boat. So they made the boot camp as a boat camp. So this is the versatility of this MyStartupTV. When I look at it, it's a wonderful thing. And I hope this brand goes or stays not just to the Indian audience. I'm also looking if this brand, MyStartup, because we are all in the startup ecosystem, right? And if this MyStartupTV can go into the European context. So how does it happen? What are your feelings, Carmen? Just let me know, and then maybe Eustace.
Yes, I think, thank you for sharing the interesting story. I definitely want to hear more about the boat trip afterwards, and how that went. For going to a European sphere, I think there's a lot of opportunities for startups because of, I know you're aware of that, of the huge demographic changes in Europe. So we are missing a lot. I think it goes into the millions of skilled workers and of people who want to start a business, because it's something I think the US is far better than we are, and Europe is more old school. And so for everyone who wants to use the opportunity, it's a good chance to start in Europe as well.
Specifically for MyStartupTV, I think there would be a great business opportunities in Germany right now, because this is actually a niche that is not being played so much in Germany right now. We haven't been interviewed by something similar in Germany right now. So I think this speaks for itself that we now have the opportunity here to share our thoughts or our experiences that we had here in Hyderabad. And for other startups in general. I think there are great opportunities in Europe as well. So it doesn't only go the way that we can assist companies or people here in India, but also, of course, Indian companies can have a lot of opportunities in the German or European markets with the help, for example, of such partners like the Impact Hub candidate in Hyderabad or the Impact Hub network as a whole.
Yeah, thank you, Carmen and the users, for the way they try to bring the realistic picture, like how it could be internationalized. This is MyStartupTV. Wonderful. And again, then coming back to like, hey, what is this Impact Hub Hyderabad in future is going to do? So that is what we want to inform the global network, not just in the Impact Hub community, but also across the world. Like, hey, today's startups will be tomorrow's mature companies. So this is where I see a lot of congruence coming together between these three organizations. So now coming back to Via Tomorrow, I'm really keen to know why you guys used Via Tomorrow. Maybe that, if you can shed light on it in a minute, that would be wonderful, Carmen and Eustace.
Sure. So first off, what we did was a very data-based approach to have it in very complicated words. But in general, we ask friends and family to rate specific company names that we had in mind and tell us which one sounded the best for them for an ESG consultancy. So this was the basic approach. And then Via Tomorrow was selected in this list because Via is from the Latin, the way, so to say. So in general, if you translate it a little bit, it's the way into the tomorrow. And we want to be the partners that accompany the companies into the tomorrow, which means a sustainable tomorrow, a socially responsible tomorrow with a great governance. And this is where we see ourselves as the bridge builders and as the accompanying piece to that.
And maybe then, if I may ask, because I think that's relevant for all three of us in the startup sphere, when you are in the startup, so you starting now the Impact Hub candidate, I would be really interested in, because I'm asking that all the other startup founders as well. And it's like, what do you feel like if you begin? I think there's a lot of euphoria, at least for us it was like that, like freedom and own business and proud and everything. And then maybe some doubts come up later on. So if it's really working or not. And what are your strategies to overcome that and to just keep the motivation ongoing later on?
Colin Vamsi, it would be great if you can, from your perspective, because you have been dealing with the startups for a long time, and probably this is where Carmen and Justus would love to know. Vamsi, now you are there.
Yeah, I would say the startups, starting a startup itself is a challenge. And every day, every moment is new things coming up. So you should be up for it. And being, again, in a media line, I would always say, facing a challenge gives a different thrill. That's what moves, every day gives you a new adventure spirit. So that is what you will feel like. And like what you all also come from the same startup line. So you'll also be feeling the thrill. Success, today what you have achieved, sleep well. That's what, you'll not find it in normal life. It's a routine thing. But in startup world, you'll have a new adventure every day.
Yeah, just to give a brief intro about our bio of Vamsi. Vamsi is a colonel. He was in army. He was in the rough terrains. I mean, right now, he from the rough terrains protecting the country has come into the rough terrains of, into the startup world. How do you feel? What is the difference between these two things? If you can explain a bit to my German colleagues, it would be wonderful. Vamsi, go ahead.
Yeah. See, coming from the rough terrains, every day is a new day for me. Every moment is a new moment because you don't know what will happen the next day or next moment. And generally dealing with manpower, human minds is a very complex thing. And when 800 minds or 1000 minds start playing, so you'll have to think in a manner what the other person or what the other persons are thinking like. Okay. And coming to startup world, the same thing I would experience out here also. It's a new day, new moment. And what the outside world is feeling about us, your clients, your investors, your partners, and outside people who are looking at you. Again, you'll have to play with those minds. It's like a game of chess. You have to be 2 or 3 steps ahead to think what they are what they are thinking, and to behave what they want us to behave. That's what I see there.
Perfectly, I mean, well articulated. Now I ask my German colleagues, both Carmen and Justus, hey, how do you feel the analogy that he tries to bring from an army camp to a boot camp, to a boot camp, and to a startup camp, and right now to get into a mature industry? Carmen and Justus, yeah, the floor is yours.
Yeah. So first off, fortunately or unfortunately, I wasn't obliged to conscribe to the army, so I can't share the exact experience from there. But I think the analogy still seems fitting to me, so to say, because you have to work with contingency plans and see what happens if A doesn't work. Then I have to go to B, maybe to C or to D, and have something in store for that. Be ready to face the unknown sometimes even, and tackle new challenges every day. And so this is something that you also have to have the resiliency for, and the mental strength is also something I think that is important for both spheres.
But I also experienced that, although it may seem challenging, that I have some friends in the startup scene, and they all went before that to big corporations where you have like these routine lives, and it's a good job, it's well paid and everything. But there's also the danger in some of these positions that you get a so-called bore out, so that you are like, it's not matching your skills, it's not matching your ambition levels, and they are really, really keen to start something new. So it can be on the other hand side, if you're the right person for that, it can be really, really motivational to have something new each day.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Carmen and Justus. You have put it right in perfect perspective. Though not coming from the army background, the analogy which he tries to bring in almost matches to what you say. So right now, Colonel Vamsi, it was a pleasure because the other day, Vamsi introduced me to his co-founder and the founder rather. So, founder, Major Sunil Shetty. Am I right? Yeah. So he's a wonderful person. I had a very brief conversation with him, and I felt, hey, yeah, here is MyStartupTV, the founder, coming from a background, and the two guys, again from army, again into this venture, which is really a tough thing, but they're doing a great job. Right now, I would like to ask Vamsi. Vamsi, please let us know a little bit about Major Sunil Shetty.
Okay. Major Sunil Shetty is again a passionate armed forces officer. He took an early retirement, and then he was into journalism before joining the army and also after joining the army. He did a course in conflict management, and he was into conflict management reporting in Afghanistan for 15 years. And he is also a serial entrepreneur. So when he returned to India, he felt that the startups in India, he was here in the startup ecosystem in India for around 2 years, went all around the country. He felt that there was no media, especially for startups. The mainstream media is focusing on all the topics apart from the startups. And Indian startup ecosystem started evolving during that time. So for that reason, in 2019, we started off with the MyStartupTV. And over a period of last 4 years, we have into now 5 verticals in MyStartupTV, starting with web TV. Then we have a podcast. We have a e-magazine, a digital magazine, My Startup Life. And we are also into OTT platform. Okay. And I don't think in anywhere in the world there is a dedicated OTT platform for startups. So that's another thing which we are into. And our main aim is to project the startups into the entire world. Being digital, it gives us the leverage to go around the world with our MyStartupTV.
Hey, thanks a lot, Colonel Vamsi, for bringing in the perspective of Major Sunil Shetty. I hope he will join in us in next event, what we would conduct from the Impact Hub community. So once again, appreciate you. And as you said, we want to go internationalize in this digital world. So, I mean, like anything is possible. Right now, I take this opportunity to bring another colleague of mine sitting there, Dilip. Hey, come in, join. Hey, Dilip, it's again wonderful to see you. So I'm very happy to let you guys know that Dilip has been one of the founding pillars of this Impact Hub journey. So when I asked my chairman, Vijay Madhuri, hey, Vijay, I need a competent resource. Just I wanted to borrow it for a couple of weeks. So he said, okay, hey, it's very difficult, but still you said you want a competent. To get a competent person onto the board is difficult, but he said, okay, fine. Then I borrowed Dilip for a couple of weeks. Now he's staying with me for almost a year, close to a year. So maybe I would suggest, Dilip, you could be very critical. I mean, like here, let me know what your perceptions are during this journey of making this Impact Hub and also working with different players like a German company like Via Tomorrow. Just please go ahead.
Thanks, Raja. Thank you, Justus and Carmen and Colonel Vamsi. So when Raja first spoke to me about the Impact Hub, I thought it is just another hub that is focusing on helping startups to get connected to the market access. So, but when I deep dived into this and I got to know about the Impact Hub true value addition, that is where I thought, oh, this is a serendipity for me. And that is where I was committed to Raja and my co-founder Vijay as well, and told that I'll be part of this team. So I'm lucky and proud that I'm the first person in the Impact Hub Hyderabad team. And couple of months ago, we had an international event where Impact Hub Leipzig co-founder Martin was here. So he was telling about the Impact Hub experience and what it can do to the global community and how India can add value. So in the same sense, you guys came in for the ESG workshop and you guys provided very detailed insights about the ESG workshop and what the compliance and strategies are all about. And the audience were also very much interested in asking questions, and it was very lively. So I think this is the second step that we have taken in projecting the Impact Hub connectivity to the global audience. And we are looking very much forward. And I thank Raja once again for giving me this golden opportunity of being a part of the co-founding team and also playing the role of a director and taking care of the innovation and strategy at Impact Hub Hyderabad. Thank you. Thank you, Raja.
Hey, Dilip, you did not do a good thing for me. I just wanted to have more of a criticism and critical analysis of me, but you're trying to give something not nice. But nevertheless, I assume you're reserving your comments for a better day. So at the same time, Justus and Carmen, you met Josna for a very brief time, right? And Vamsi as well. She's one of the most enthusiastic, most energetic person of this whole founding team. Josna is a wonderful person. Unfortunately, she's not this interview. So because we couldn't really bring her, because this was an impromptu. So right now we do everything impromptu. That is where I feel, see, we are doing the things in a very natural way. So yeah, with this, thanks for the compliments. I'm going to look for the criticism very soon from him. If not, then I think we have other ways to devise and do it. So yeah, then coming back to again, I will come back to the ESG workshop. Right now, I would ask one more question, like, Kalan Vamsi, it's really wonderful that you're a great team with Major Sunilshetty. So, see, this is where we always think of when startups, they are in their primary stage. We think of taking them to the global scale. And that is one of the biggest mandates of Impact Hub. So maybe this Impact Hub is headquartered in Vienna, Austria. So at the same time, they have this global networks in 60 plus countries. This is where I would like to see your MyStartupTV sound bites, just not confined to the Hyderabad or the Indian ecosystem, but we would like to also see this sound bites go to the other parts of the world like Africa, Latin America, and Asia as well. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Being digital, we are across the world. And digital does not limit to a space only to India. We are across the world. And our broadcasts are beaming right now in US as well as in Europe, in Latin America. Wherever internet is there, we are there. So whatever we are doing, then we share. Even in fact, we ask our partners also. So whatever we are recorded for them and whatever we edited and shared with them, they share it among their own partners. And since, as I already told that Major Sunil being a serial entrepreneur, we have a niche audience in US, Europe, as well as in West Asia and including Latin America also. So whatever we are speaking here and we edit it and post it, publish it, it goes around the world.
Yeah, thanks for that tip that you guys are already there. What we want to see is like you mature into much bigger TVs. Networks, at least my startup TV. I want it to grow and say that, hey, it's my startup TV #1. And maybe it's in Latin America or it's in Africa or anywhere else. Yeah, thanks for that. And then, I would like to have a few words from the ESG perspective via tomorrow. Well, one size doesn't fit all. Am I right? So this is where I'm really interested to know the perspective, because this was a workshop with a lot of gathering with different stakeholders and from multiple fields, right from academia to corporates. And I would like to know how this could be, how you could really adapt it to the local conditions for the Indian conditions. Maybe you could share common.
So in general, I think you have some certain global baselines that companies around the world will have to adhere to or are already trying. So even the Indian government, when it did its sustainability reporting standards, they oriented towards standards that are globally active, like the SASB standards or TCFD standards. So this is something where we come in from a global perspective and can use knowledge that we acquired in Europe to transfer it to this market here. However, that being said, of course, and this is why this is a great question, there is some need to adapt this to the local needs here. You will have other challenges to tackle here first before you can tackle the same things that you have in Europe. So what I maybe feel and also felt from the questions is that maybe you have to start with raising the awareness first a little bit more and adapt the requirements so far that you have maybe some problems that are more prevalent here than in Europe tackle first, and some other problems that Europe has, like a very old growing population and society, and here you don't have. Those are the issues that are more prevalent in Europe and not so much here. And this is something which can be fun to tackle, really. Yeah.
I think one of the participants asked the question or raised the concern that there are different situations here in India and that the ESG efforts that are taken globally have to be adapted. I think, yes, it has to be, but you should not miss out that if you have in the end, all regional adapted landscape of ESG, the sole purpose of ESG, it's the comparison, the opportunity to compare companies globally gets lost. So I think that's one of the big challenges, to adapt it locally, but to keep in mind that the key KPIs have to be the same, and the form in which you report have also be very, very, very similar, because otherwise a company just moves to another country where the regulations are so adapted that they are easy to fulfill and can hide away their real intentions.
Yeah, absolutely great. I mean, like, you have nailed it down to the proper way, like how they, I mean, like, because the biggest challenge is if the other companies want to hide there and hide it in another country in the form of other regulations. So you try to pin it down like, no, that shouldn't happen. If that is going to happen, then there's no global good. Thanks. Appreciate. And Colonel Vamsi, you have been saying that Major Sunil is a serial entrepreneur. Is he investing only in the media relations, or is he also investing any other interesting startups, maybe from Europe or maybe from Germany or maybe from Leipzig? Because we have wonderful connects to Leipzig. That is my other second home. So that's where I come from right now, I would say. Yeah. Tell me, so that I can take Major Vamsi and also Major Sunil Shetty to Leipzig. Yeah, Colonel Vamsi, I have got another important question for you. So, because I have heard from you that Major Sunil Shetty is a serial entrepreneur. So, yeah, is he investing only in media relations, or is he investing into other startups? Is he agnostic sector? And the other question is, would he be interested to invest in the German startups? So, because I come from Leipzig, I call myself as a Leipziger. So, right now, I would love to, it's a beautiful city with a beautiful startup ecosystem, and it's DHL's European headquarters, and it has a Porsche manufacturing unit. So, it's got a lot of names to tell. But would you be interested to come and sector agnostic? Yeah, Vamsi.
Speaking about Major Sunil, I will not be able to tell about what his mind speaks. But after seeing him for the last 2 years, he would definitely like to be in the startup space, and he would like to do whatever he can for the startups. Investment, projection, promotion, anything. So he's a passionate entrepreneur, and he would like to continue with his entrepreneurial journey, and he'd also like to bring in other investors as well as investors, and he himself would like to invest and mentor the startups too. So that is his mindset and what I have seen him. Though he will not agree what I am telling, but he is a passionate entrepreneur.
Hey, you gave a very diplomatic answer. I mean, like, though you are not speaking his mind, though you are not speaking on his behalf, but you spoke his mind. I'm very happy. So it would be lovely. I mean, like, because you have been working with him, you understand him, and this is where the team works. So with this, I mean, like, I'm very fortunate today to have Carmen and Eustace for Impact Hub Hyderabad journey, and we want to see. And we want to take it, and we don't want it to limit to just Hyderabad. We want to take it to other places as well. Wherever Impact Hub Hyderabad flies to. I mean, like, we want My Startup to be with us, and we want, Via Tomorrow. There's a beautiful Latin thing, what, Eustace has talked about Via means in Latin. And similarly, everyone asked me, what is Dr. Rednath? Because that is where I earned my doctoral degree from Humboldt University, Berlin. So it's wonderful to use those Latin. I mean, like, still, I'm glad in Germany you use that, and also for titles we use. So it's a wonderful journey. Right now, I give the first to my colleague, Dilip. He can just round it up and say in a minute what he wants to, and then probably share.
Yeah, it was really a wonderful opportunity to work with you for these couple of days on the ESG workshop, and also bringing in the startups and the mature companies to get connected. So we just don't want to limit this to Hyderabad. We wanted to spread this ESG awareness and all to the other cities. So that is where we wanted to connect with you guys and take it forward together. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dilip. Now, I would ask Kalan Vamsi. So how do you think you will shape up your journey with our startup scenario, especially from Via Consulting GmbH and Impact Hub Hyderabad chapter?
Yeah, first of all, we would like to partner with the European startups, and Via Tomorrow, I think, will be the first step. And as far as Impact Hub, we are very glad that Impact Hub, which has almost around more than 70 participating countries all across the world. And now it has, for the first time in India, in Hyderabad, it is starting its journey. And we wish them all the best and the good work which they are doing across the world. And it will definitely benefit the Indian startup ecosystem also. And also all the startups which across the world, with 70 participating countries, they would know the culture of India. And also India being now into the startup ecosystem for the last 6-7 years. And they have very promising startups, not only in technology, but also into the rural industries and medium-scale industries and manufacturing. There are so many interesting startups in India, which the world will come to know through Impact Hub. And we are glad, and we wish Impact Hub Hyderabad all the best.
Thanks, Kalan Vamsi. I mean, like, you have already tied up with Via Tomorrow GmbH. So that's a good, beautiful collaboration. So I hope, I mean, like, whenever they want to have a media presence, not just in India, probably in Europe, they would be happy to work with you. See, the collaboration doesn't mean a written document. It's an unwritten document, I feel, which is much more realistic and which is much more holier. So this is where, I mean, like, the commitments come without any, I mean, like, hidden agenda, where we don't have any written things. Yeah, thanks, Kalan Vamsi, for putting it in the right perspective. Right now, yeah, Carmen is looking with her at her, I mean, like, Mike, she wants to. Go ahead, Carmen.
No, only also thank you. Thank you for organizing everything. It was an honor for us to be here and have the workshop. And also thank you for putting us on the stage and giving us the opportunity to have some recordings also as well. And I think it won't be the last time in India for us, but I think it was rather the first step of a journey that begins.
Yeah. And we are so overwhelmed how friendly everyone is, how forthcoming, how much support we gathered, how many friends we also made along the way in the last few weeks. And we really loved being here in Hyderabad and in India. And this is why I can only emphasize and double down on what Carmen said. We will be very happy to come back and to welcome you then back in Leipzig once you get there, and then we can show you around there a little bit.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Carmen and Eustace. And of course, Dilip, thanks a lot. So we are always I tell him, we are not into a sprint. we are into a marathon. And thanks a lot, Vamsi. And I would be failing if I wouldn't be mentioning another person, Martin Stoyer will, I mean, like, because he'll be angry. So Helen will be angry with me then. No. So Martin has been a wonderful partner in this journey. So he was the initiator of this, along with my another hidden colleague in Germany, Sean in Stuttgart. He has been the motivating factor for me to bring this impact journey into Hyderabad. And I must appreciate, Vijay and Josna. They are the biggest inspiration for me to be here in Hyderabad for such a long time, working on this impactful journey. And I'm very proud to say Vijay, a serial entrepreneur, a tech geek, and who is also, my childhood classmate. So we have always sometimes banter and fun as well. So, but with seriousness in business, he's a go-getter. And thanks to Josna, though she isn't here, she has been doing today the whole organization. What we see here is to the great work that Josna has been doing sitting from her house. And she was here for a brief time, and absolutely grateful to all the people over here. Once again, thanks Dilip. Thanks, Eustace. Thanks, Carmen. Vamsi, thanks a lot. And, and of course to Major Shetty. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you all.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.